happened is the judge won't come out of chambers at this point. He did say last time that I would either have to come into the courtroom with a mask on or the towel, or I could sign a waiver and have my attorney represent me inside the courtroom. We just have motions to dismiss. We have all this paperwork to dismiss, and we need to be able to submit that to the court clerk. And right now, one of the officers inside is mediating between the judge who's in the courtroom at this point, or in chambers, and he's trying to figure out how to handle this at this point, because obviously this is something brand new for them.
It's new for them, but they gotta be up. They still have to see the amount of people that are
legally, right? Legally, they have. My representative is here. It doesn't have to be a lawyer, and Eric knows that. So they're really screwing things up for them at this point, unfortunately. So we're just waiting. That law enforcement officer went back in, but I just want to let you guys know where it stands. I don't think anybody's going anywhere. I think everybody's going to stand right here. But huddle together, get some warmth.
Did the cop that arrested you, does he have to be
No,
present?
he doesn't have to be here right now.
Love it.
Your energy is keeping me warm.
My
guys.
mouth
Thank
keeps
you.
me warm.
Yeah, we know, Joe. we know, brother.
I'm keeping warm just standing in front
I'm just
of
getting
him.
Yeah,
cramped
right?
now. I have to go warm up.
So
Like Sunday.
that's how everything right now is progressing. Went back in. If they're going to force us to leave at this point, they can't force me to get legal representation. I have to be allowed to either represent myself or have somebody there to represent me, which we do at this point. So, and they have to accept the motions to dismiss. They can't deny that. So Eric will explain all that legalese afterwards.
So why won't the judge come out?
Right now, I guess he has different individuals inside their attorneys. So the number of vehicles that you see here, it's probably a normal court day.
Oh.
And he wouldn't expect to have to come out. He's just there until about a minute. Oh, yeah. All right, guys. You're going back.
No public, no observers, no, that's a huge violation of the open meetings clause in the Constitution and New York state law as well. So everybody research the open meetings laws and start making us think about that. He's filing his paperwork on his own. The judge tried to insinuate that Pete had said an attorney he mentioned was his lawyer, and only that guy could serve the papers. None of us, not Pete, no one could serve it but that attorney. We beat him on that. Pete's at the desk right now filing his own paperwork, and the bailiffs are still running messages between the judge and him, and I'm standing out at the front. They won't even let me in as a matter of the media for public record, okay? My name is Eric Hughes Jones of courtroomwatch.com. I also do an audio blog at the antideepstateparty.com. So I'm a legitimate member of the media. I'm being denied access to this public proceedings. Wow. This has now become a secret proceeding, so one of the casualties of...
All right, guys. I have any cash on me. They need about $15 for copies. Take up a donation.
Anybody got a Christmas money?
Now I need the $5.
You owe $5 right for that dog.
Oh, we got it. Thanks, guys. Yeah, good.
Okay.
We're good.
But yeah, no, they're taking orders from Rochester.
What, is
Monroe.
there just a bunch of...
You have no more
Monroe County released
Yeah, well, don't you have your own?
felons in the level 3 sex
And they're telling
offenders
the court you
in
can't
March.
allow anybody from the public into the proceedings. How convenient.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's frustrating.
It doesn't sound right.
No, it's not right.
Happening before.
No, not at this level, because they know they're in violation of the open meetings laws. However, they're going to try to say, well, but because of COVID-19, we can do whatever we want to do. That's not true.
They need to make accommodations either by video or Zoom or something else even.
Something's got to go give.
They have to have some
and they're
kind of
giving.
accommodation.
They're
You
giving.
can't have a physical
So we're
presence.
going toe to toe right now, and we're getting slow progress. So we'll see how the next. It is Judge Dennis Delano, correct? And
Did they say what Rochester judge is commandeering this hearing?
No, and I'm trying to get this all in writing so we can
Yeah.
have this for public record, because right now it's hearsay from the bailiffs, but I can assure you, and I will swear it out right now, they just told me this, they'll tell you if they would let you in, but they won't.
So they're...
Why they're deferring to the
Rochester court.
No, and I don't think they ever will, other than raw obedience, and it's a militarized court system. Everything seems to be under the military, including the hospitals now. I'm told all hospitals are military. A very well-sourced person. I'd like to remain anonymous.
Like FEMA?
But I called Strong Memorial Hospital. Every single person there was military or former military. At the desk, the assistant, they used words like triage your complaint and all these other things. It was obviously a military operation.
If you can find out what judge the name in Rochester, that would help.
It's
Because
most
we can
likely,
actually-
I can tell you right now who the chief administrative judge is now in Rochester is Craig Duran. He's in Erie County, New York State's, I'm sorry, and Supreme Court judge like Delano. He seems to be the guy who's telling all the lower judges what to do. He's the chief administrative judge, so he's instructing all the courts and etc. So Craig Duran,
Craig J. Duran.
yeah, and I've been in his court before, and he's a hardcore order taker, and it's all about the state statute. Whatever he's ordered to do, he'll do it. He's a scary person. I saw him put a poor guy in jail for 3.5 years on a trumped-up gun charge. I could get into that story later, but the Shane Bennett case. So, and the jury was laughing. By the way, the jury pool of 40 people, 5 people in that pool had immediate family members who were in the New York State Police. That's not a normal percentage of people who have family in New York State Police. It was obviously they were setting up the jury pool. One guy was an assistant mayor for the town of Newark. The other woman was a paralegal. Every person in there had court, law, legal, law enforcement people.
That's
So the jury
mafia.
was stacked from the beginning, and they were laughing in the back room. We could hear them hysterically laughing and eating pizza as they sent this guy to prison for having guns in his house because he had a minor drug charge 11 years before. Possession of a firearm by a
was how
convicted felon.
recent?
This couple years ago.
This is insane.
What's
Yeah.
his name?
And now they-
Shane Bennett.
Okay.
Yeah, Shane
and now
Bennett.
they're using the military and the hospitals and all the.
They all answered yes. The military is super. Donald Trump, in one of his speeches, said something very interesting. It's a 1-minute speech on YouTube from the Oval Office with just him. And he said, the admiral and the general are very much in charge, but I think I'm pretty much in charge. And by that, you had to hear his delivery and how he said it. He said it. The admiral and the general are very much in charge. I'm pretty much in charge. His words, not mine. I love Trump better than Biden.
When
But
was that?
you
Yeah.
can see where this is going.
FEMA has never been somebody that I would ever trust.
No, they're not humanitarian. Just like
No,
the
they're
National Guard.
part of the UN, and the UN
I
would
was-
do,
yeah.
they
I was
would
just
do
gonna-
anything to get people under control.
Quick story. A man in South Dakota picked up a piece of precious mineral off the ground. It's called amylite. Supposedly only exists in Canada. He found a deposit in North America. He started gathering it. He was arrested and held in jail without charge for one night. And the prosecutor handed him a piece of paper that said, "You are in violation of the UN Law of the Seas Treaty, which has consolidated all the waterways and all the territory between the waterways." So we're really living under the international code right now. The International Property Maintenance Code
The
is
amount
how
of
they
people
weasel their way into your local
But the
community.
thing is, the amount of people that are sitting home right now in their warm house, they're sitting at work, thinking that
They
everything
think we're
is going
free
fine.
at roast some hot dogs on 4th of July and we're free.
This is
Yeah.
fine. This is not.
No, I know.
Martial
Well,
law
that's-
is one of the things that's.
Canada's.
Okay, just title it real simple, and your handwriting is fine. Doesn't have to be fancy typed, but write an affidavit of truth and explain what happened today. Dennis Delano denied I, John Doe, a member of the public, one of the people, denied us access, denied me and others access to the courthouse in violation of the open meeting statutes, and then cite the open meeting statutes and attach a copy of the open meeting statutes, because if you don't,
Well, should we all
We
just
could do
walk
that.
in here right now and then make them physically deny us?
well, we'd have to bum rush the bailiffs and get
It
tased.
sounds-
It's going to be a nightmare.
Well, no, because they're going to stop us. And well, we
Right,
can,
make the attempt. Go in, get denied. Okay,
25
everybody
of
in
us,
here
yeah.
needs to walk in
Can we
and say, I'm
tape
a member
that?
of the public. I'm just here to see Pete's case.
Can we
You know,
tape
I can do the
walk
thing.
in?
They're letting Pete just hold a towel in front of his face, so that seems to be applicable. I just saw another friend walk in. Why won't they let Pete's friends in?
so should I go get my? I gotta pack a mask in the truck.
Yeah, no, because they're not going to let you in the courtroom even with a mask unless you're an attorney or a client, which is absolutely unbelievable that they're doing that. They're setting
So
themselves
you
up for a
want
huge
each one
lawsuit.
of us to ask to come in to see Pete's case,
Individually,
and each
yeah.
one of us get denied.
And then you can say, I was denied access to the courthouse. They're hoping we're just going to get the word dissipate, go away. He said, she said, get everything in writing. Make them deny you. Tell them you'd like your denial in writing. They'll say, maybe I'll ask the judge, maybe I won't. Either way, you
let's
can
go.
say I was physically denied access to a public courthouse on public property. I'm a member of the public that wanted to witness a public proceedings.
Denied access to the public.
Yep.
Hearing.
In violation of the open meetings law.
I got a mask. I got a mask in the car, a brand new
Oh,
one.
I was going to put on my whole face covering, my special forces thing and everything, but they won't let anybody, and I'm media, and they won't let me in. So here we go. Yeah, right, exactly. They don't want
They
the,
deny us, right?
just tell them you want to get into to witness Pete's case, and they'll say, sorry, we can't let you in. Make them do that to everybody here. And then you have lawful standing. Every one of us here, we could file a class action lawsuit.
Can we record that?
I got
as
a
we-
blank lawsuit in my briefcase.
Isn't that-
So what do I do?
Working
Go
on
get
it
my
tonight.
mask then, or what?
No, just walk in with no mask.
Isn't the first thing they got is the?
Well,
why,
yes.
why is he arrested in the
Tell
first
them you're willing to
place?
Well,
come.
if we got our mask on, then
We
we're
have our
here to
mask
see
and
our
we'll
friend.
social distance.
We're here to see our
And
friend.
if there's only, what you say, 20 people? I hear that there's not even that many right now.
COVID rules, it's attorneys and defendants only.
That's an arbitrary number based on what?
Due to COVID, it's attorneys and defendants only.
A virus stops our constitutional
Yeah,
rights.
You do realize federal courts have recently ruled that there cannot be any such type of banning because of.
That's not true.
No, the federal court.
That's not true.
Okay, here's what I know that's true.
Constitution.
This is a public hearing. It's a public open hearing, and in the past, before any other pandemic or whatever excuse you want to use,
Your
the
words.
public has been allowed
In the past.
to witness this.
In the past.
Okay, so now it's a whole new future, and the public is not allowed into public hearings.
Can you show us the law, sir?
Yeah, show us the law.
Show us the law.
Is there a law that we can get
Can you show
documented?
us the law?
Because otherwise, we'd like to go in and see the public hearings. Where is the law?
Go downtown.
No, I don't want to go anywhere. I want to
No.
go
You need to
there.
show us. You need to prove your standing. We don't have to prove our side. You need to show the law.
If you have a public law that's violating the Constitution, I would imagine that it would be an
That's
intelligent
color
thing
of
to
law.
put it and post it somewhere so that people know.
And we're also gonna need it in writing for everybody here who gets denied.
Yeah, okay.
You guys
Okay,
are
so
in
can you mention it
violation
to
of,
the
you
judge?
guys
Hold your
are
breath.
doing crime.
What is that again?
I say don't hold your breath. I'm not writing you a paragraph.
No, you guys are in violation
So
of.
you're not, you're not,
of the
you're
Constitution.
just standing there saying what you're saying. You're not actually caring about us or our friend.
No, I don't care about
You don't.
you. No.
So you're a public servant? No?
You're a public servant.
No, he's just said no.
I appreciate your service, sir, and all of you, I appreciate your service. But I want you to
Why
understand
it gonna
that
be such a hard time?
Because
This
it's
is
not
not
lawful
following We're
entry.
here to see a friend of ours that's in court, and this is a public building.
You're committing an illegal act. You're in violation of the open meetings statutes.
Yes.
Please let us in.
It's against the rules.
okay.
What
Can
rule?
you
Speak
get
this out
it
as
in
against
writing?
Can
the
I
law.
get it in writing?
No, no,
We'll
rules.
leave.
Can I get it in writing and I'll leave? That you're formally denying my constitutional right to an open hearing.
Rules only apply
Can I
to you
get that? I'll
guys.
leave.
We're verbally telling you that that's the
No.
current rules.
That's not enough. That's not good enough.
Just give us the law, at
Don't
least
fight
the
us.
law number that we're not allowed to attend an open meeting and be in a public.
Yeah, we need it in writing.
Anybody?
It can't be hearsay, and the rules do not
Bueller?
apply. It has to
Well,
be a
he pretty
law.
much said it right there. He just doesn't care about
I
anything
would
that
like
we're
to hear what
doing
he
right
has to
now.
say.
I've tried to help you out all day. That's it.
You're not helping us out, you're breaking the law.
I helped you out, trust me.
Just
You're
because,
breaking
just
the
because
law.
you got a badge
This
on, you
is
are
how-
allowed to say whatever.
So they made copies of everything. The motions were entered by Victoria. She was very accommodating. She did everything she could for us. Even went into the judge, handed them to her. The judge had asked me to come back in. I did that so that it'd go in front of him so I could find out when my next court proceeding was going to be. The same thing, they went through the masks. They were saying that you have to have a mask. He said, but you could go with the covering. So at least there was that concession. So there's that concession that if I come back that I can do that, I can
So they're
represent
just
myself.
postponing it?
They're postponing it at this point. There would be no dismissal.
They want to look at your paperwork,
Right.
yeah.
The judge did the right thing. He needed to be able to review the motion to dismiss, and once he has an opportunity to read that, it was David Stevens. It's not Dennis Delano. So David Stevens is the attorney, is the judge, and it's the same judge as last time. So it's all right.
Can we amend our paperwork? Did you let them know?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
So but anyways, David was great, very accommodating inside. He expressed exactly why we couldn't come in. Now, does that go against our constitutional rights to have for us to be in there?
Yes.
It does. He understands that. He agrees with it. He's like, I don't like this either, but he says it's the way that it is, and they can't do it any other way. Now, he admitted that, so now Eric is going to handle everything the way that he needs to handle it. This right here today, guys, what this shows is that we're all unified, that we're not scared, that we're here to be together, and Frank taking the lead. Any single person here, I know every single one of you. I would trust any one of you with my life and my freedom. I've been out there battling with every single one of you guys, fighting with every single one of you guys. there's not one person that I wouldn't walk against 50 people in this crowd. So yeah, guys, thank you so much. You know, I appreciate all the work
This is
that you
just
guys
wrong
do.
on all levels.
Let's eat.
All levels.
Yeah, right. Nick's got it right. So, but just to finish, Victoria, she was a court clerk. She was amazing. She took all the copies. We did have to pay for it. She was resisting it at first, but then I said, "Can we pay for it?" And then she did that. I know, but guys, you have to take a look at it like this. All right, this is their job. They have been trained years
Brainwashed.
to think that this is the way that it goes. So it's not necessarily even their fault. It's not the officer's fault. You guys did it peacefully. You did it exactly the way that you should have been. And then when it needed to disengage, you guys did. Is it frustrating? Yes. But it's a battle today that wasn't won or lost, but it was fought.
Yes.
It was a necessary battle. And everybody showed up here today because now, the next time this happens, we're all going to be here again, all of us again.
Maybe more.
And maybe more, hopefully more. And maybe by then the rules change, right? But this right now, after the judge, and I have every bit of faith that the judge, David Stevens, will review the motion without bias. I believe that
Great.
wholeheartedly.
That's all we ask.
Why
He
did
has.
we hear something about a judge in Ontario or another county?
That's the administrative judge, and I'm going to find that out real quick. I'll be very nice.
Yeah.
I just want to find out who gave these people the order out of Rochester. Was it Duran? Was it Doyle? Was it the Senior Executive Services? Was it the Department of Homeland Gestapo? I'm going to try to find that out.
The important thing for everybody here to realize, to help Pete and to help yourselves, if you ever get into this again, if this ever happens to someone else, is to document your objection. You need to document your objection. So when he was talking about an affidavit saying that you were not allowed into a public open hearing, you need to document the fact that this was held over and stalled again because this costs more money, costs more time.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt them because they show up to work every day.
Right.
What is happening is that it's hurting him. It's depleting his resources and depleting his time and energy until they hope that, like smacking a dog with a newspaper, they give up.
Yeah.
So if every one of you want to help him and by so doing help yourself, you need to document something. Instead of 15 to 20 minutes on anything else, take 15 to 20 minutes, type it up and mail it to them. Type it up and email it to them. Somehow get it documented that you object to your rights being incrementally stolen under the guise of any other charge that they want to on that day. I'm sorry.
No, Frank, you're right. And
Good.
Frank's
Right
right,
on.
guys.
Right on.
If you want to walk away from here, I'm always trying to tell you what the next thing is and where we're at. Because the worst thing we can have is somebody walk away not knowing what we've got going on next, right? I'll make sure that on my live, I'll cover all this. But if you guys want to, who you would want to contact is the town supervisor. I don't know, you know who it is?
Diane Benskowitz.
So you would want to contact and leave messages with her about the proceedings, what happened. You'd want to write letters in, just like Frank said, as well. And is there anything that we can do to write letters to the judge or no?
Absolutely.
Okay.
All the everything. Use all the tools in the box. Do it all.
So Justice David Stevens, any letters that you guys want to write or emails that you want to send, David Stevens, that's his name. But guys, these guys, the only reason they're the enemy now is because they've been in the 70s and 80s and 90s, incrementally, little bit by little bit. All the people that used to remember the way it was and the way it's supposed to be,
Dying.
it dies off.
Yeah.
And then the people that, were brought in, they don't even know, they don't remember, and they're the ones that are training. We see this in courtroom after courtroom after courtroom. It's monetized, right? It's for profit. That's what it is.
Yeah,
for the
everybody
most
ought
part.
to know. This will really turn your stomach. This case and every other court case is bonded with a bid bond, a performance bond, and a payment bond from the General Services Administration, Forms 274 and 275. They're cashing in on this. The longer they can protract this case and say come back next month, cha-ching. We found a CUSIP account in California for Tanya McCash that had $2 billion in it. That's B with a big boy. $1 billion. Because these 8 years in a custody dispute. Why do they drag these things on? They call it protracting. And those bonds accrue interest over time, and then they package them into a real estate investment trust, an REIT, and sell them on the open market to China, Goldman Sachs, the Vatican Bank, the Rothschild, Bronfman, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
It's
What
essentially
news
it.
channel has been most affable to you in helping you?
WBEN, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, right there, top of the list, I guess. Bellavia had you on this morning, according
WBEN, if you want to also do something,
Get Bowerly.
either write or call or something, let them know. Put it on their Facebook pages. Anywhere you see anything related, put it on there. It's like, why isn't anything being done about this? But make sure you document it somehow.
Right,
I
that's
mean,
why
anything
this.
on Facebook is not documentation. Emailing them or writing them a letter and writing the judge. You can write the judge and
Well-
say wrong that anything beyond that happens.
And include all that in your affidavits. So when you say your affidavit is a testimonial to what you saw today, and you can make commentary at the end of your facts and say, you know, these were violations of my First Amendment right, or whatever you want to add. Just make it more or less sticking to the facts, not too much characterizations, and then just drop it here at the court clerk's window, mail it to them, ask them to send you back a stamped copy. Keep the traffic down here if you're driving by, drive in and
If you make
deliver it personally.
characterizations on this form, I'll tell you right now that they will laugh it out and not even pay attention
Right,
to it.
just the facts.
Just like what the jurors were doing in there, laughing about something. If you start exaggerating or sensationalizing or whatever,
Right.
just the facts, the dates, this, what you think the problem is and what you think the solution is, and that you're formally requesting that happen.
Well, I want everybody to do it in their own words. It really needs to be done that way to be authentic. And you don't have to be Johnny Legal. You can just put it, you know, real simple. I was denied lawful access into a public
Why don't you
building.
just pass a hat and then have one person sue the town of Cheektowaga?
Hey guys,
Well, I'd love to see that happen. We could do a class action lawsuit. One little thing I want to address, I have a slight disagreement with Pete on, which is I know these guys are just doing their job, but after World War II, Adolf Eichmann, German war criminal, was picked up by the Israelis. He was sent back to international court, and his lawyers at the trial argued that it was the law. He was trained, he was ordered, it was legal and lawful what he did. Hitler was voted into power, and this was all a result of orders being given to him, and he had no choice. He had to follow those orders, come what may, and just do his job. And we see what happened to Adolf Eichmann, and that whole thing that they used at Nuremberg about, we were just ordered to do it, don't blame us. No, the executioner is the most to blame because they're protecting the guys who are blocking us.
They
and
all take an oath of office as well.
Yeah. I don't think it's too much of a characterization to say
Well,
this is clearly a
like you
violation
said,
of their
Pete,
oath of office.
It's like children, when you're trained and that's the only thing you know,
right.
they don't know any better.
So
So
we
you
got-
need a little tough love, like you said.
Right, and they're
Okay,
not children
so I agree
anymore.
with
These
both
are
of you.
adults here. They don't need to be. I think they can read English. They can read the Constitution. They know what equal protection is.
Yep.
They're operating under UCC law because they're incorporated, and they think they can do an end run around the Constitution and operate under the Uniform Commercial Code. And everybody's under contract law because you signed on the dotted line for a license. You
This
signed-
same thing has been going on for so many years.
It's
that
true.
Very
unless it
deep-rooted.
directly affects your life,
Right.
then you don't give a shit. You just turn on Netflix and watch whatever that night, and you don't take any. There's no accountability for any of these levels of justice that are supposed to be there for the people. Not only are they doing what they're told to do, but like you said, they're executing what the boss tells them to do.
Right.
I don't
They're
like-
not out there for us.
Yeah, I just want to give my information out publicly in case we get split up.
What happened in Rochester?
What?
What was the call from Rochester?
Oh, they won't tell us. They read the order and won't tell me anything about it. And as soon as I asked about that, she kicked me out. So anyway, I'm Eric Jones, courtroomwatch.com. My phone number is 5. Anybody can reach out to me, 585-730-9220.
I love you. You gotta love this group, right? I gotta love this group. Let's walk over together, guys.